Hello and welcome back. So I missed a video last week. I hope I didn't disappoint anyone. What happened was I caught the plague that's been going around now for the last 3 years. It was pretty bad for me. I was not given the medication that Joe Rogan took. Not that I'm against any of that, but Gavin Newsom has cracked down on the medication in California, not allowing people to get it because, that would mean that they wouldn't get the jab. How dare they? So the medication I got was the Paxlovid, and it seemed to work. I don't know if it worked that much. The reason I did not get the 3 different medications that Joe Rogan took, for example, was because since Gavin Newsom has cracked down on it, I have to go to work, right? I'm still going to work. I didn't take any days off, and I probably should have, but I didn't. I was just working from home, and when I called my doctor, and he was like, yeah, you can get the monoclonals with the ivermectin and the hydroxychloroquine, but you have to go to 3 different pharmacies, and it was like 2:30 in the afternoon or something, and I had to be at work at 4:30, so I was like, all right, well, I'm not going to risk it. I could probably have done it, but I didn't want to take the chance that it was going to be an issue. I took the medication, followed my doctor's instructions. I still have some symptoms, some congestion and a sore throat and some weakness still. So I'm still recovering, but we'll see about making this video here. I did want to talk about some stuff that's popped up in the news. I do want to thank everybody for stopping by. Please remember to like, comment, share, subscribe. Make sure that you're still subscribed. Watch the video to the very end, and you can find me over on Rumble and on Twitter. Now let's get into these articles. The Daily Caller. Inspector report found hundreds of Chicago teachers allegedly sexually groomed, violated students. Yeah, that's all that's happening. So the Chicago Board of Education's Office of Inspector General, OIG, annual report found hundreds of Chicago public schools teachers were accused of adult-to-student sexual misconduct in the 2021-2022 school year. The OIG's Sexual Allegations Unit, SAU, opened 447 cases investigating teachers for allegedly grooming, sexually assaulting, or violating CPS students last school year following the 325 open in 2021. Of the open cases, SAU closed 600 over the past 12 months, according to OIG annual report. So closing a case doesn't mean it's solved. What the conclusion could be is that there's just not enough evidence. SAU investigated a Chicago high school substitute teacher for grooming several students for sex and engaging in sexual acts with at least one student on school property, the OIG found. The CPS teacher allegedly talked to students about their sex lives in person and through social media, cell phones, and other common grooming techniques. According to the OIG, the report stated the teacher gave the students unnecessary passes to exclude her from class and encouraged students to confide in him about personal problems. Build up that trust. A student confides in you about a personal problem. You're there for them. They're a shoulder for you to cry on. Then you're going to have discomfort. So the SAU claims he made intimate physical contact with students, including kissing, sexual hugs, and back rubs. What are sexual hugs? Is that like where you hug someone and you press your genitals against them at the same time? I don't understand this. What a sexual hug is. Openly solicited sexual acts, such as asking the student to recruit other students for a threesome. The separate SAU investigation into a former JROTC, Junior Reserve Officer Training Corps staff member, found he allegedly had sex with a 16-year-old female high school student. SAU found that for 12 months, he threatened to kill the student and her family if she reported the sexual abuse. Now, I'm from Illinois, and it's my understanding my whole life, that the age of consent in Illinois is 18, not 16, so that would be illegal. SAU reported that the JROTC staff member and the student exchanged hundreds of text messages that were overtly sexual, including, "I'm ready to F right now. I'm not going to be gentle either." Yeah, just what I want my children to be exposed to. Chicago Police Department arrested the JROTC staff member and charged him with 8 counts of criminal sexual assault and 1 count of aggravated criminal sexual abuse, according to the report. Several of the open cases involved CPS-affiliated adults exposing students to pornographic images, including one high school teacher who accessed porn while he was sharing his screen with minor students. Yeah, don't they lock that stuff down on these school computers? They should. Frank McCormick, chalkboard hearsay, tweeted, hundreds of Chicago public school teachers sexually groomed, molested, and violated CPS students last year. A report by the CPS Inspector General detailed 600 plus reports, of which half could be substantiated. Only 16 criminal charges have been initiated. Link below. Yeah, why are you letting your kids go to these public schools? Why are you living in the city, period? And really, when it comes down to it, you should not be raising children in the city at all. The way this looks. It's just a dangerous, dangerous place to be raising kids. And you could say, well, let's put them into private schools. Well, you think these reports, these thousands of reports that they have here, these thousands of allegations, all come from public schools? They don't. We've seen this. We saw that private school not that long ago, just a few weeks ago, where they're grooming kids. They're overtly just like, hey, yeah, we're grooming kids. We love it. It's great. It's amazing. It's the best thing ever. We're sharing little butt plugs and stuff with them. It's awesome. The report applauded the OIG's SAU's ability to manage its extraordinarily high case volume without compromising the quality of its investigations. Over the past 4 years, the SAU accomplishments have been significant. It has opened 1,735 cases following allegations reported by students, alumni, parents, staff, and others. Of course, it has closed a total of 1,384 cases, raising concerns of adult-on-student sexual misconduct and substantiated policy violations in 320 investigations, the report stated. The OIG added that of the over 1,700 cases of alleged sexual misconduct between CPS-affiliated adults and students, 16 criminal charges have been filed. That's it, just 1%. It's a 1%, not even 1%. It's actually slightly less than 1%. You know, my sister lives in Chicago, and she thinks the teachers there are a joke, that they are overpaid, and they're demanding more money all of the time. But fortunately, I guess, the mayor has not given into their demands, wanting more money. So these people want to get paid to go into education so they can violate your children. They want to get paid a really good wage to go into education so that they can violate your children. And you think about it, it only makes sense. So this profession would attract people who are interested in inappropriately touching little kids or even underage kids. It doesn't matter if they're little or not in this case, because it's still illegal in many places in the country to touch 16-year-olds, 15-year-olds, 17-year-olds the way that these people want to touch them. It's still illegal, and for good reason. So this is just get out of the cities, get your kids out of the cities. Especially if you have kids, don't live in the city. Definitely homeschool your kids, because they're being exposed to all sorts of craziness. Check this article out here. Fox News, Harvard Medical School offers course about healthcare for LGBTQIA plus infants. The course promises to focus on serving gender and sexual minority people across the lifespan. Oh, yes, across their lifespan, because this isn't made up at all. Okay. Well, Dr. Stanley Goldfarb says woke med school standards will do nothing to improve healthcare. Right. Do no harm chairman and former University of Pennsylvania Associated Dean Dr. Stanley Goldfarb warns that critical race theory has now entered medical schools. It's been there for years now. What are you talking about? Let's get on the article here. Students at Harvard Medical School can learn about how to provide healthcare for infants who are supposedly LGBTQIA plus #ampersand WTF, according to a course catalog description. In the course, caring for patients with diverse sexual orientations, no such thing, gender identities, no such thing, and sexual development, which is regularly available at the school, students are offered the opportunity to work with patients who identify as lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, intersex, and asexual, as first reported by the College Fix. Okay, let me see here. Patient identify as lesbian, that's something you decide to do. Gay, that's something you decide to do. Bisexual, that's something you decide to do. Transgender, that's made up. There's no such thing. Queer, okay, well, I'm queer. I mean, queer just means weird. Intersex, okay, that's not a thing. That's also made up. Asexual, that's also made up. I don't know what to tell you. All this stuff. It's like let's have a course on fairies and pixies and elves. Yay! Okay, well, if you want to do that, I guess. But clinical exposure and education will focus on serving gender and sexual minority people across the lifespan, from infants to older adults. The course description says. What's this here? Harvard Medical School study claims slavery reparations would have mitigated coronavirus spread. Oh, we got to look at that too. What is this here? Harvard Medical School study claims slavery reparations would have mitigated coronavirus spread. Reparations would address structural inequalities such as hyper-incarceration and concentration in frontline work. Well, back to the original article we were looking at. The course also lets students engage in mentored scholarly endeavors such as advocacy, quality improvement, medical education, original research, or public health project. Massachusetts General Hospital, which serves as the primary meeting location for medical school's 2022-2023 academic year, offers a variety of transgender surgical procedures for individuals 18 and older, as well as resources for transgender youth, such as referrals to LGBTQ support groups. Boston Children's Hospital says children can know they're transgender from the womb in deleted video. Oh, they deleted that video. Why? Because it's probably because they figured out they were being stupid. Because, hey, look, gender is a social construct, I've been told. Oh, wait, no, wait. Lady Gaga says I was born this way. Which one is it? Was I born this way, or is it a social construct? Maybe it's you were born this way if you're LGBTQ and straight is a social construct. That's my assumption. It could be, though, that it just depends on what supports their argument more. If you say, hey, you're not born this way, it's a social construct, and there's a bunch of LGBTQ people out there who are like, oh, yeah, that makes sense because that's how I feel it is. But then when you go, oh, no, it's actually you're born this way. No, that can't possibly be true. It's a social construct because otherwise, I wouldn't be LGBTQ. Also involved with the course is Boston Children's Hospital, which generated controversy last year over a video claiming that some children know their gender identity before they are born. No, they don't. You don't know anything before you were born. Your brain is not developed enough for you to know things yet. You don't know what language is. You don't know what things are. You've never seen anything in the world. That's why children are so fascinated by everything. Everything is a new adventure for them because, hey, everything is a new adventure for them. Imagine that. Wow, I don't even have children and I know this. If you have children on there, you can go ahead and confirm in the comments if I'm right. The hospital created the first pediatric and adolescent gender health program in the U.S. according to its Center for Gender Surgery website. What's this here? Dr. warns woke agenda gaining foothold in medical colleges. Diversity above merit. That's been going on for years. Harvard Medical School did not respond to Fox News Digital request for comment by the time of publication, and the college fix noted that the school did not reply to their multiple requests for comment over the course of 2 weeks. But Harvard later issued a statement online. Recent reports referencing one of our medical education courses have neglected to mention that some infants are born with variations in sex development. In this context, care for infants refers specifically to physical variations in sex development that arise in utero and are present at birth. These include chromosomal, gonadal, and anatomical variations, all of which are relevant to medical care and treatment to ensure healthy development. Yeah, well, those are very rare conditions. Very rare conditions. Harvard describes the course as a 4-week elective course that educates and trains medical students to provide high-quality, cultural, responsive care for patients with diverse sexual orientations, gender identities, and sex development across the age spectrum. Harvard medical students should be taught the basic scientific truth that a man cannot become a woman or vice versa. Nathaniel Blake, an ethicist at the Ethics and Public Policy Center, told the College Fix, yeah, that's true, they can't. Those experiencing psychological distress regarding their biological sex need to be treated with compassion, which does not mean subjecting them to dangerous chemical and surgical treatments to mold them into a facsimile of the opposite sex, Blake added. Maybe they should be told to go to the third world hellhole and get treatment if they want it. Let's see what some of these comments say. Show Enough says, I read stories like this, and I can't help pondering the what-ifs of life. My son wanted to be a puppy when he was little. If I would have been supportive and petted him more, I might have wound up with a good hunting dog rather than just a Marine. Yeah, I would have been better off. Should have been petting him. Yeah, I remember when I was a kid, I remember pondering whether or not I was going to be gay or straight. It's amazing how things work out, isn't it? Here you go. Here's a good one by Guitar Crusher. That whole in utero experience can be quite confusing. I remember at about 5 or 6 weeks in, I had webbed fingers. I didn't know what I was going to become. I know. You were amazed, weren't you? And this guy here, 2024 or bust. Actually, it's not 24 or bust. It's salty old cracker. Lays out a whole bunch of things that if you want to continue, then you should vote Democrats. They are. If you want the LGBTQ agenda slammed down your throat, if you want minor children exposed to the LGBTQ agenda, if you want murderers released from prison to murder again, if you wish to be told your opinion is not allowed, if you want to be lied to constantly, if you want high crime rates, if you want high gas prices, if you want high inflation, if you want higher taxes, if you want an open border, if you want boys playing girls' sports, if you want rules for thee but not for me, if you want bigger government, if you want education to cost more and do less. Yeah, some of these things you could say about Republicans too, though. So HipCon 2 says, remember when Harvard, Yale, and all the other big schools actually had a reputation for excellence? I wouldn't hire a grad from an Ivy League indoctrination camp to be our janitor. Yeah, it's probably a good policy to follow. Anyway, that's all I got for this time. Please remember to like, comment, and share. I will see you in the next video.